happening, bro?
We here. Who's that?
Bro, we in person now, bro.
What's good, y'all?
Yo. We are back. We are back with another episode. Episode what?
It's 45? I think it's 45 now.
But,
and I can do it in person.
Bro,
What's up, my boy?
Bro, it's something different, bro.
What's up?
What's the big difference, though? Our episode right now. What's the big difference?
I don't know. You think it's the screen up there? You think it's the lighted back here?
Man, y'all see the difference, bro.
Come on, man.
We in person now, man.
Come on.
Hey, bro.
Come on, man.
Hey, hold
Come
on.
on.
Hold on. Since we've been gone for a minute, bro. How you been, man? What you been up to, bro?
Honestly, seen a lot of movies lately. We seen one recently, my way. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, Weapons was fire.
Hey, y'all go check out Weapons, man. I think it was a really good film. Chopped it up in certain chapters. I thought was pretty cool. It was definitely different. And I saw Fantastic Four, saw the Superman. I'm pretty sure everyone saw that one. And just enjoying life, my boy. Working. What else we do? How you doing, my boy? You know what I'm saying?
Good. I'm feeling basically now. I'm near 100% from my my SoCal trip. If you there, if you know, you know. If you was down there,
you know.
But I've been good, bro. It's been like a month and a half, bro, since you last recorded.
Since we've been on this pod, man.
But it's been a whole process of trying to make this a reality. Doing little trips, vacations, putting us all together. But we finally here.
Finally,
we're excited, bro. This is what we wanted, bro. We here, but
we here, man. We here.
Let's jump into it right away because we got to, bro. Obviously, it's gonna be a football focused
centric,
podcast.
Very centric episode. Yep. Football. We haven't really been on it. It's been mainly off season for us. Honestly. Yeah. Think about it here.
Yeah, because all the NBA stuff, y'all know what happened. If anything, y'all can check out on our socials. You know what I'm saying?
Tweet through that. Yeah.
NBA free agency was kind of dope though, low key. But
I do like that.
Let's jump into it, bro. So topic number uno is that we're gonna go and predict the division winners from all AFC and NFC divisions. First division up though, AFC East.
AFC East.
I think this is kind of self-explanatory, bro. It's the Buffalo Bills.
It is in fact the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna have to agree with you there, honestly.
100%.
Really, I don't know if anything's really a threat per se, but
the Dolphins?
All right, let's relax. All right, let's
Patriots?
See, here we go. That's a little tougher. Okay, see, they got Diggs. I sent you a nice little highlight earlier. They do got Drake May up in there. It's not how do we say this? Terrible, but I don't think they're a playoff ready team. I don't think they're ready to fully compete in the playoffs, even wild card.
Yeah,
possibly kind of a Bo Nix type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't really see a threat in any way. I think I'm gonna have to agree with you here, going with the Bills winning the AFC East.
100%. I mean, the Bills have they've won the previous 5. They won the division the last 5 years, going for a 6. Pretty much ever since Tom Brady has left New England, they've dominated the division.
Also, let's not disrespect the Jets, but the Jets aren't really a threat. I don't think that this is really a surprise for you guys. Not really a threat. Justin Fields has.
Shout out Justin Fields.
And I heard some possible trade rumors with Breece Hall, so we're gonna have to see what's going on there.
That's not good.
Unsure.
Well, it's a contract year. Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner both got paid. So, he wants to be part of that, so he got to ball out. But easily, I think it's the Bills, no question.
Absolutely. We'll move on to the AFC North here.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and the Steelers. Caleb, my boy, I'm starting with you first. Who do you think's going to win this division?
Man, I hate to bet against. Hey, what's up?
Come on, guys.
Yeah, I hate to bet against Joe, but
my guy though, Joe.
I'm gonna go against the. I got to go against him, man. I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens.
He is an MVP. That's true.
Yeah, the MVP. I think the Ravens are gonna take the division again. We saw the combination between Lamar and Derrick Henry last season.
Absolutely
electric.
And
just what they've got going down there. And if for me, it's just hard to put faith in the Bengals because their defense is a huge question mark. And someone we're going to talk about real soon here in Trey Anderson.
Absolutely.
We know that the Bengals are going to put up points. They're going to be in games, but I just don't think they're good enough stops.
Yeah, I'm going to have to I would honestly pick the Bengals over any team rather than the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think the Browns are ready yet. Hopefully Shador gets a start this year. Pittsburgh, what they got going down there, huh? You got a retirement home at quarterback.
Hey man, don't hate on my boy A-Rod, bro. That's crazy.
This isn't hating. This is called truth. And Aaron Rodgers needs to retire ASAP Rocky. But that team is just it's not.
I think
it's not sustainable, but they will win games.
I think the Steelers, when you look at both sides of the ball, I got more faith in the Steelers than the Bengals. Obviously, the Bengals offense is one of the most high-powered in the league.
The Bengals is putting up 40 points a game and trying to win off that.
The question I have with the Steelers is how are they going to run the football now that they've lost Najee Harris? And again, like what version are we going to get of Aaron Rodgers? We know that he's not prime MVP Aaron Rodgers anymore, but
Correct.
Can he be serviceable enough? I think the Steelers are definitely a playoff team, but the reason why I don't think the Steelers can potentially similar. Yeah, I think what they basically did last season, similar to running, I think they can definitely challenge for a wild card. But again, I just think the Ravens are just so complete on both sides of the ball. And the Bengals, where they have the offense, not the defense, I think the Steelers have the defense, but the Steelers running game for me is a question. And then what Aaron Rodgers are we going to get? And the offensive line, too, for me is a concern.
Yeah, that offensive line is a question. That's why.
And Cameron Hayward, he's holding out.
Which brings up my concern of Aaron Rodgers. Not me exactly hating on him, but it's just the concern of can he even move when there's going to be pressure? He's just going to have to go down and take the sack. And unfortunately, there's injuries that occur there. So you know what I'm saying? So you got to real be careful. But
discount double check.
We're going to head over to the AFC South. We got Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and the Tennessee Titans. I think this one is a foregone conclusion.
You're picking the Colts.
I am picking the Tennessee Titans.
I think we're picking the Titans.
Come on, the Houston Texans. I think CJ Stroud is going to have a bounce-back year. I think with the weapons he does have, Collins, Mixon, who is out. But they did insert Chubb in there, which could be a tandem when Mixon comes back. I don't know how soon that's going to be. But we'll have Will Anderson on the defensive side, along with D'Amico Ryans and that whole defensive line. And one of the top corners in the game. There's so many, but Stingley is rightfully in top 3, top 5 conversations. I mean,
maybe top 2.
Top 2. They're so interchangeable, right? Because of difference in years and how different they fall off and come up. So we'll see. And I think Texans are a strong team to go to the conference championship this year, if you ask me.
100%. Texans for me are the best team in probably arguably the weakest division in football. Maybe, outside of the NFC South. I think AFC South and NFC South are probably the weakest divisions we got in football right now.
Absolutely terrible divisions. But they're on the come up.
Yeah, I think the Texans, they're clearly the best team right now. They have the best quarterback in the division. I think they have the best team. I think also they just have currently the best coach in D'Amico Ryans. We know the culture that they've built there the last few seasons. I like the Colts roster as a whole, but the quarterback is just such a question mark, and Anthony Richardson obviously just got hurt again.
And then you got DJ, who's not God's gift on green earth
Daniel
when it
Jones?
comes to the quarterback spot.
Daniel Jones is my guy. Bro.
Yeah, DJ is your MVP, my boy. Currently on the Colts, I heard he's doing too hot and isn't exactly taking that spot from Anthony Richardson, which means AR still got a shot, which means there's not a good ceiling there. They're trying to just pick who's gonna win the most this year. So
yeah, I feel you, man.
It's a terrible situation.
And then I think the Jaguars, I think similar to the Bengals, I think they're actually going to be a really exciting offense. Obviously, with Travis Hunter pairing him with Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Etienne as well. I think they're going to be an exciting offense. We know Trevor Lawrence, when he's healthy and he's upright, that he can play that position really well. But the consistency has just been the big question for him. But the Jaguars defense still has a ways to go. And then Tennessee Titans, they're in the beginning of the rebuild. So.
They're in the beginning reset. They got their quarterback. They just need to have pieces around him. Really need to just go through the growing pains here. Just go through the development. Just let Cam Ward do his thing. If he makes mistakes, Tennessee, just don't harp on that, man. It is 1 year. He is still young.
Yeah,
he is a rookie. Let's remind ourselves of that after all the guys we labeled as bust over the years. Huh?
Hey, scale 1 to 10 before we move on. scale 1 to 10. Tony Pollard will he be on the Titans by the end of the year?
I think so. I think so because you can't really get him for anything, and whatever you get in return isn't going to produce whatever Tony Pollard could.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think he stays. And to the toughest division, in my opinion, AFC West.
Yes, sir.
Got the Broncos. We got Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, we got the Raiders. And the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah,
they should have stayed in San Diego, in my opinion. But honestly, it's death, Texas, and Kansas City winning it all per usual, and I think they will win the division. They control the narrative, they control the fast everything there. They got Mahomes, man. You know how it works. He's always going to come out on top. He's always going to do his thing. Especially in late games, I feel like Mahomes is the most clutch quarterback in this game.
Yeah,
besides Tom Brady. But that's what I have to say. If we're gonna give a 1, 2, 3, I think it's gonna be Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, but not even saying any type of bad records here because it's gonna be very, very what's the word?
Close.
Yes,
it's gonna be close. No, definitely. It's gonna be. I think this is gonna be. I would probably say between the AFC West and the NFC North. I think those are gonna be two of the toughest divisions in football. But I agree with you on the winner. We're 4 for 4 right now. The Chiefs are going to win this division. I think it's just pretty self-explanatory. We know what they've done even before they had Patrick Mahomes when they had Alex Smith there as well. Look, they're going for their 10th straight division. They've won 9 already consecutive. That's the second largest since the New England Patriots and the Tom Brady era. We know what the Chiefs are about. They've dominated the division for years.
Y'all know why I hate the Chiefs, but yeah.
What they do to your Niners?
Beat them twice in the Super Bowl, though.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, and I didn't. Yeah.
But definitely, the Chiefs, they've dominated the division. We know Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, even with aging Travis Kelce. We know
even with the Rashee Rice, who may still be out, they're still going to probably win the division.
Exactly. Xavier Worthy, Isaiah Pacheco, I think is going to be more healthier coming in next season.
Yep.
We know the Chiefs' defense as well is one of the best in football.
They're always sustainable, and with that defensive coordinator, they're always going to be on top.
Spags, one of the best, bro.
One of the best for a reason, and that's why he's won this many chips,
100%.
along with Andy Reid. So
yeah, and I think the Denver Broncos, we know similar to them,
crazy defense,
and the additions they brought in, your guys, Ufunga and Drake Greenlaw,
they can stay healthy.
That's interesting, man. And a year 2 progression out of Bo Nix with Sean Payton, they're continuing growing in familiarity. But again, I just think the Broncos, they still have questions offensively with their ability to run the football and the receiving core outside of Cortland Sutton. And with the Chargers, for me, I think the loss with Rashawn Slater is going to hurt them. And I understand Joe All, who had a fantastic rookie year at right tackle, they're going to move him to left. Jim Harbaugh said that, and I think he's going to do a good job. But again, even though you're moving Joe All from right to left, right now becomes an issue.
Right.
So I think the offensive line takes a step back, and we all know that it starts and ends in the trenches. Yep. So I think the Chargers, I think they'll be competitive, but I think they take a little bit of a step back because, again, I love them bringing back Keenan, but he is getting a little bit older, man. Again, I think he can still play, but he's getting a bit older. And you know how I feel about Trey Harris, but there's been some stuff coming out of camp that he hasn't been looking too hot.
Right.
Obviously,
I heard KLS is the one who's looking pretty hot, and in preseason as well. KLS turned out to be a unique prospect,
and we all know what Ladd McConkey. We know he's a stud.
That's the guy. That's Renfro 2.0, man. That's his son.
Yeah, and then we're all excited as well to see Amari in Hampton and see how the Najee Harris situation plays out.
I don't even know if he's still injured or not, but if he's ready to start the season, I think they are enthralled to have a great running game with Hampton and Najee Harris splitting time as a tandem. They're doing what you're supposed to do with your running backs as a team.
They're going to be a run-first offense, similar to they were last season with J.K. Dobbins. Speaking of Denver, Denver did sign J.K. Dobbins, which I think if J.K. can somehow stay healthy-ish for a season,
J.K. is a great player.
He's a really talented, explosive running back, but injuries have bothered him since he stepped in the league. But yeah. And then lastly with my Raiders, again, I think we're going to have a really explosive offense.
Much better year than last year.
100%. There's a complete culture change was going on down there in Las Vegas.
Y'all have a quarterback. You guys have a number 1 running back. Y'all need to chill on Ashton Genty. And
preseason, bro, relax.
A true receiving core with we could put him in the top 3 already, tight ends in the game. So and
Maybe
obviously,
top one.
yeah, absolutely. Kittle, buddy, Kittle's still there.
You're right.
Yeah, come on. Very, very tall corners. You know how Pete Carroll likes to run it.
And really young too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that D line is just amazing. So I think you guys will definitely win games this year. It's just dependent on where you guys will land if you guys make the playoffs.
I just think for me the biggest question with the Raiders defensively is specifically the secondary. It's just incredibly young. And again, I think we're gonna be a team I think is probably not to outscore teams to win. But we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, Chiefs
give up a lot of those cheap plays, those gimmies,
But I think from a discipline point of view, I think you'll see a more disciplined team. I think you'll see a team that flies around more faster, an aggressive team. I just think you'll see a more just an energetic team because we know what Pete Carroll, what he brings, just his personality, bro.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to move to the NFC over here.
Yep.
Let's start with the NFC West, man. We got the Cardinals, the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks. All right. Let me.
I know since you're probably going to pick the Seahawks, right?
Let me lay this down quick. I'm still going to pick my Niners to win the division here. Just because of how easy the schedule is, how winnable the games are.
100%.
And I do think I know our issues on the O-line. I know our various issues with injuries and in that receiving core.
Yeah.
But that defense will win games for us as long as Deommodore Lenoir and Fred Warner can stay on the field. I feel like the defense will continue to win games. And it's just like the Niners used to. All the games used to be 9-3, 13-10, 17-7. All those low-scoring games, Niners are going to get back to that. No diss to Purdy, but I don't think he's going to really have the opportunity to score due to his receivers not even getting open. Also depends on the usage of McCaffrey. I hope Kyle doesn't get him hurt.
Garendo.
He's also very injury prone. They had to bring in guys from the outside. I heard
who's the medical team down?
I heard Jeff Wilson is falling down at practice, so that's not looking good. As in, like his legs are giving out already. So it's not looking good. But if McCaffrey can stay upright, which I hope he does, but the way Kyle Shanahan misuses CMC, I don't think he's going to stay up. But very, very winnable schedule. If you look at it from beginning to end, these guys should win the division.
Yeah, 100%. The Niners have one of the easiest, if not the easiest, schedule in football going into this season. But I think this is the first time.
Mind you, possible trap games, may I add.
100%. But I think this is one of the first seasons, I'd probably say, outside of what the first year Shanahan was there or the second year where there's uncertainty around this team now.
Yeah,
there's the guarantee where years past, you shoot in the Niners for the division and to the conference championship.
You book it like it's a WWE.
Yeah, but now it's just concerns, and rightfully so. Like McCaffrey coming off the Achilles injury, Trent continues to get older. They've lost a lot of pieces, particularly on defense, a lot of their core guys. They're relying on a lot of younger guys on both sides of the ball.
JJ still wants that contract. And I'm more inclined of him not getting that contract because that's your first 1,000-yard year. You literally we didn't mention this. He literally signed a contract last year.
He did.
Okay. So, and also he hasn't even put up 500 yards in a season before this 1,000-yard receiving year. So let's calm down, Juwan Jennings, especially because if you actually are hurt, you definitely don't deserve a contract now. Begging, because you're just becoming another Debo. You're becoming another Ayuk. No diss to Ayuk. I know he's coming back probably week 6 to week 8. Hopefully he comes back strong. But it's just that repetition of guys holding out, and sometimes you gotta play on the contract around. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's tough, man. But like I said, I think the Niners, they're not my pick to win the division. I think it's gonna be close.
We're gonna disagree here.
They
love that.
Yeah, my pick for this division in the NFC West is going to be the Los Angeles Rams.
Rams, dude. Go ahead.
The Rams. You look at how young that defense was last year and how much it came on.
That defense is nice.
We all know about Jared Verse.
Absolutely.
But Kobe Turner as well on that defense. And I'm forgetting the other defense tackle they have that's really young. He's just like Braden Fisk, I believe that's his name. But he really had a really good season this past year. They're really talented, man, on both sides of the ball. The only question with them is this whole Stafford thing. We saw it. Was it 2 years ago when they were coming off the Super Bowl that he had like this neck thing?
That's that arm. Yeah.
And there was contemplating about when he retired, and now he's dealing with this back thing, right? So
I think it's all about age, and
Yeah, I mean, he's getting older, and
Father Time does clock us off.
And at the end of the day, we always say, man, like at the end of the day, not always the best teams win. It's the teams that are healthy that make it to the finish line.
Yeah, no, 100%. Guys who make it to the finish line, and I think that's why the Chiefs are the team they are. They make it through the whole season. You don't really see Mahomes really take off games like that. You know what I mean? So it is very crucial for Stafford to play. And if he doesn't, Jimmy G.
Yeah, that's Devontae's guy, man.
That's Devontae's guy.
But I think the Rams, if Stafford stays upright, we know about Devontae and Puka. Shout out to my man Williams getting his extension.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather deserve one of the better running backs we have in the game right now. And I think this Rams team, man, if they're fully healthy, we know what Sean McVay brings to the table, man.
It is true. He's a Super Bowl winning coach, unlike the other guy in the NFC West.
And then just talk about
I just touch on the Cardinals and the Seahawks real quick. You know, the Cardinals, very underrated.
Sam Darnold, huh?
Very Cardinals, my boy, Cardinals.
No, but we talk about the Seahawks.
Oh, Seahawks too. Yeah, Sam Darnold. Yeah. But Kyler Murray, I don't know how it's looking for Kyler Murray right now.
Yeah.
But we really got to see how he looks. And Marvin Harrison bulked up definitely, and they added Will Johnson late, which was straight value on that pick. Very good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Added Sweat to that D line as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be a very competitive team. I just don't think their offense is going to score a lot of points. I think that's your problem. They do got McBride, who's one of the top tight ends of the game, absolutely. But can Kyler get it together as well? Because we can't just put every single blame on Cardinals excess Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? He has to take some part.
I will say with the Cardinals, their defense started to play really well down the stretch of the season last year. And similar to
Will Johnson.
adding my boy Will Johnson, man, could be the steal of the draft. We'll see how that plays out.
I think he will be a steal of the draft.
And see if I believe it was his knee, right, was the big issue.
I think it was like the knee. I think he didn't run his 40 time. Big concern to everyone.
Yeah, but if he stays healthy, that's a step.
That value. What I heard was he's locking up Harrison in training camp. So,
sheesh. But you've got Harrison, Trey McBride, who's one of the premier tight ends. He's a top 3 for me. Like you said, it's Kittle, Bowers, and McBride for me.
Kelsey dropped last year terribly for me.
Yeah, Kelsey's still good though.
No, very, very. Dropped, that's all.
Yeah, and then James Conner, who's for me has become one of the more underrated running backs we have in the game. He's really solid for Arizona down there. So I think Kyler Murray has pieces that he can work with offensively, and if his defense continues to take steps like they did last season,
could win a lot.
The Cardinals can sneak up on some teams. And lastly, to talk about Seattle, the Sam Darnold era is now starting in Seattle.
We'll see how long that lasts, because I heard at the Minnesota, right? That was about 1 year tripper. Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah. They saw that playoff game. They're like, kick rocks, buddy.
I think the offensive line for me is still a question. I know they made a few moves, but Gino was able to make a situation that wasn't good overall around him offensively, like tolerable, acceptable. I think Sam Darnold now is more in a situation where he has to be more of the reason why they win, where in Minnesota, he just didn't have to wreck the ship, and he played really well in Minnesota. He was great.
Absolutely. He was great. Great offensive line. You got full weapons there. Justin Jefferson, you got Addison.
Yeah.
And then
it's a little different now.
You got a great tight end. You had a foolproof offensive line and a running game.
Yeah.
Now you really got to own it on your own.
Yeah, because I like Cooper Kupp, but I think we can all agree that he's not the same player that he once was.
Just not the same guy. He's just not going to get open as much as he used to. That's just the only thing.
And we love JSN. JSN is clear and cut the number one guy, but
absolutely,
obviously DK's gone. Tyler Lockett, obviously not the same player he used to, but he's gone. And in the running game, I'm a big fan of Kenneth Walker. But
Zach Charbonnet right behind them.
Yeah, but the problem is with the Seahawks, they couldn't run the football because their offensive line just couldn't block.
Absolutely terrible.
And so if this offensive line can take some steps and they can get back to running the football with Kenneth Walker, you talk about Zach as well, Charbonnet, Mr. UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Seahawks could be interesting. But again, I just think the offensive line still for me is just such a huge question. And again, I love Kubiak, the OC. He had a few good weeks with the Saints with Derek Carr. They were lighting it up. Remember we talked about on the pod. We were like the Saints.
He had Derek Carr in MVP combos, which everyone did.
Yeah, we it looked exciting for 2 weeks.
And then all
Derek Carr got hurt.
All New Orleans just sat there and they were like,
Yeah, and credit Derek Carr did get hurt, but if Kubiak can take some of what he did with the Saints his first few weeks and make it more consistent with Seattle, they could be interesting. But
could be a little something, right?
We'll see.
We'll see. Let's move on to the NFC South real quick.
Yeah.
Got the Falcons, the Panthers, Saints, and the Buccaneers. Actually, this
is pretty easy for me.
Pretty easy for you, but I just feel like as a division as a whole, I think it's on the come up. As in a rebuilding, you got a rebuilding Saints who I think are gonna
probably the worst.
As a quarterback.
They're probably gonna have the worst record in the NFL.
Absolutely,
if we're gonna be honest.
Absolutely. You got the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
very consistently good team.
Yeah.
Panthers, who I think are gonna be a lot better this year.
Yeah,
and then you got the Falcons. That whole team is just kind of prepped, right?
Yeah.
Kind of prepped and ready. I do think easy enough, honestly. Buccaneers are going to win this division.
Yep.
Honestly, think Panthers are going to have a good shot if they get out. I think the Panthers could be a very surprising team this year. As in
offensively, defensively, there are ways to go.
Ways to go defensively, but this offense will put up points, and I think Falcons would kind of be right there with them. They're going to be fighting for that 2-3 spot. And the Saints are going to be absolutely terrible. But Buccaneers got this outright. They added Emeka Egbuka. That's your boy, and I'll talk about him later as well. And you got Mr. Consistency, one of my favorite players in the game. I know I'm a Niners fan, but just one of my favorite players, Mike Evans. Got Chris Godwin come back from injury, and
one of the most dynamic running backs in Bucky Irving.
Very, very underrated back. He's underrated.
He's a real good.
Absolutely.
But so who's your pick?
It's definitely gonna be the Bucs. They're winning this division. Yeah.
Same here. I'm going with the Bucs. I don't think this division is great. You're like you said, it's a division that's with younger teams.
It's on the come up. It's on the come up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good. I say in about 2-3 years time, this division is going to be very tight. It's going to be like the AFC West and all.
But the Bucs are ready to, I think, compete now. Obviously, they won the division last year. They're my pick. Baker Mayfield is arguably playing like a top 10 quarterback right now. You talk about the offense as well. Mecca, he's a stud. Bucky's a stud.
Balling out at training camp as well, so I'd take note of that.
And like you talked about it, Mr. Future Gold Jacket and Mike Evans. And so, I think Todd Bowles as well leading the charge down there. I think the Bucs are clearly the best team in probably the weakest division. In the game.
It is one of the weakest divisions.
Yeah.
And then we got the NFC North right here. Very stacked. I would say very stacked, all four, except there's a big, big question mark with one team and one guy who we'll talk about a little later. We got the Lions, Packers, Vikings, and Bears. Honestly,
this is outside of the AFC West. This is the tough.
Because what I noticed with Detroit, if somebody goes down in Detroit, it's gonna hit real hard. So
they're gonna get Aiden back. Probably later in the year.
I'm very curious to see how JJ starts his year, how JJ plays with that offense with Jordan Mason, Jones, and everybody there. We'll see how Justin Jefferson's hamstring is. Mm-hmm. Addison is suspended.
That's a tricky one.
That's a big one. So I'm honestly thinking little foreseeable future here. I'm actually going to go with the Packers here. I'm actually
our first. Okay. All right.
I'm going to put a little more trust in Jordan Love. I think he's going to be a little more smarter with his decisions. I feel like he won't make a lot of those bonehead throws that he was doing last year.
Yeah.
You added a stud at wide receiver. Come on. And Mr. Golden.
Oh yeah.
And I think that running game is still sustainable. Their defense has always been kind of upright. You got Clark on that D line. And I don't know, man. It's just with the situations. Like I don't really like Detroit and that the depth. And with the Bears, Caleb Williams is a question mark.
Luther Burden, though.
Luther Burden's a dog. But I heard he's been getting chewed out at practice, though. That's what I heard.
You're not gonna like me for this, but my pick is the Detroit Lions to win the division. And
that was my second pick, so I ain't gonna hate you there. But
I really like the Packers. I'm a big fan of Matt LaFleur. I think he's one of the best coaches in the game. Definitely, Matt LaFleur. He's a stud. But for me, the reason why I like Detroit, yes, they lost Aaron Glenn. Yes, they lost Ben Johnson. And they did lose some pieces on that team. But for me, the offense for the majority is still intact. You still got a two-headed monster with Gibbs and Montgomery. And my boy Amon-Ra.
Yeah, St. Brown, man.
He's there.
One of the top wide receivers in the game gets disrespected.
Can't forget about Sam Laporta as well at tight end.
Can't forget about Williams either. He's on the come up.
Yeah. So, again, I think I was about to say, too, with Aiden Hutchinson, I think they're expecting to be back probably mid-season. of this upcoming year. So
Kind of like Ayuk.
Yeah, getting him back is going to obviously really boost them. We know when Aiden Hutchinson, before he got hurt this year, he was a defensive player of the year candidate. He was balling this year.
Absolutely balling.
So for the most part, even though they've lost the two coordinators, the Lions are pretty much still intact for the most part. And with the Packers, for me, I really do like the Packers. I love my boy Josh Jacobs. But the receiving core, man, like I just don't know what I'm going to get from those guys.
It's always been the shaky part, right? You don't really have a number one. Yes, I touched on Golden, but he's not an outright number one wide receiver. That he's got to confirm that himself. He's got to play like it.
Yeah, and with Dontavian Wicks, I'm looking at Christian Watson.
Christian Watson's definitely not.
Yeah, even Reed. I mean, I like Reed.
I like Reed a lot, but he is a very good number two.
Yeah, so like I said, that maybe Golden could potentially develop into a one.
I could see.
But you're right. The Packers right now just don't have that alpha wide receiver, and the defense I think is. It's okay. Like the defense is okay.
You pass it.
They lost Jair Alexander though. That's a big loss. Losing one of the best corners in football to Baltimore, which was one of the reasons why I like Baltimore.
Yeah, well, we had him, and then didn't they get starts as well?
Malachi.
Dude, all I gotta say is the Ravens secondary will always be undefeated from the draft to free agency to guys they just bring up.
Yeah, and then the Bears. I think the Bears are going to be good, but there's question marks with one of my guys and
twin. No, I'm playing.
I think the Bears are too much questions, and with Minnesota. I think from top to bottom, I think that's the most talented roster in the division. But the JJ McCarthy thing, that's the question. That's why I think with the Lions, there's continuity, there's familiarity, and you know what you're going to get from Detroit. So that's why I'm picking them.
Absolutely. We're moving on to the last division here before we go on to the next topic. NFC East. So we're going to be talking about a lot of the NFC East in the next topic.
I got a feeling you're going to pick the Cowboys to win the division.
You're smoking there, buddy. We got Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and Commanders minus the Giants. This is a very deep division.
The Giants?
And the Giants. No. I'm saying.
Jackson Dart, he played.
NFC East is very similar to the NFC North, where they could have like 2 years top divisions in the game because of how depth and how young these teams are.
NFC East is interesting, but
yeah, absolutely. And I gotta rock with the boy, Jaden. Daniel.
I respect it, bro.
Yes, sir. Come on. My fault. Yes, sir. We got to lock that in.
I respect it, bro.
Shout out LSU. Jaden Daniels, my boy. I predicted his. I predicted this, man.
Yeah.
Shout out for putting me on. But I just think, in my opinion, Saquon is gonna have kind of a drop off like McCarthy minus the. McCaffrey minus the injury, hopefully.
Wow, really?
Minus the injury, though.
Okay.
I feel like that load last year, not going to take a whole toll on him, but I feel like he's just going to slow down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts is going to have to show himself a little bit more, for better or for worse. We're going to see, right? And that defense, very sustainable. I feel like it's between the Commanders and the Eagles. But with the Cowboys, man, I feel like they just got too many kinks they haven't worked out. We'll talk about it in the next topic.
Oh, yes, we will.
But too many kinks you haven't worked out. That secondary is depth-wise. That secondary is not good.
And the pass rushing could get a little interesting.
It could definitely be interesting. You don't really have anybody on their side along with Micah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have you did add Pickens. Great. You finally give Dak another wide receiver so you can stop bitching about his excuses in the playoffs. Great. Let's see if he can get to the playoffs now, okay? So let's see if he can do that with his big boy pants on, okay? And then with the Giants, you obviously got a rebuilding team, but I think that defense will win them up a potential to about 7 games. I feel like that defense is ready, and they're ready to win games, man. I think they're going to hold a lot of teams to low-scoring games.
Yeah. I think the New York Giants. I think the defense, particularly that front four, front seven total. I think they're a Giants team in a few years' time. I think it's going to be really, really well. Will Brian Dable be able to see out that team? Is a wait and see.
That's a wait and see.
But Abdul Carter, who we're going to talk about.
You know what I'm
saying? Later. But Abdul Carter, he's the real deal. I mean, what he did to Deion Dawkins, bro.
How many snaps?
6 snaps. It could have been one snap, bro.
Come on.
Yeah, he
That's
did him
ridiculous.
crazy, and then we got
That's some Miles Garrett type of stuff.
and then you got Big Dexter Lawrence in the middle, and
Just
Brian. You can't forget about Brian
I
Burns.
like Dexter did the same. Yeah, I like that. I like the Dexter did. You know what I'm saying?
And then Brian Burns on the other side. I mean,
Yeah, no, Brian Burns is a dog. That's one of the guys I want on the Niners opposite bus.
he's a stud. But yeah, I think the Giants, whether it's Russell Wilson, I think Russell Wilson's clearly a stopgap. He had a solid stretch of play with the Steelers last year. He played okay.
I'll say this: he's not as watching as Aaron Rodgers.
No, he can still play.
He can
But
play.
he's clearly not what he
He's
wants.
not what he used to be. He can't. He's not as
Mobile.
Hey, he ain't. Hell, he ain't as mobile as he used to be. I remember he was running all over the Niners.
But Jackson Dart, we've seen look good in preseason, and he looks like he's the heir apparent. So I think in a few years' time, the Giants could be something, but a few years away. The Dallas Cowboys, there's just too many questions and concerns. We know with the healthy Dak Prescott that this offense is going to be electric. I don't think they have a running game. When you have Dak, when you have CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson at tight end, obviously with George Pickens now, they're going to put up points, but the defense as a whole is a major question mark. And with Micah, which we'll cover in a second, that's a problem. And the Commanders and Eagles. Look, I'm picking the Eagles to win this division again. They're a complete roster.
As you got the LSU pants on, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Disrespect, Jaden.
I gotta be a realist.
Jaden, if you ever touch this podcast, I vouch for you, my boy. Just letting you know.
Yeah, I gotta be real though, bro. But the Eagles, Super Bowl champs, it's a complete roster from top to bottom on both sides of the ball, and extremely young and really, really, really talented. But I will say a key note with Landon Dickerson, their guard, is hurt. He's in a potentially, I think it's season ending. That's a loss because they obviously did lose Mekhi Becton to the Chargers in free agency. Now you're losing Landon Dickerson. So the interior of that offensive line
A little shake.
could be a question mark. We know the two tackles with Malata and Lane Johnson.
That's no question.
But now the interior of the offensive line, now there's some question marks.
Be a little hole there. Yeah.
So we'll see how that affects the run. Even though I don't think it's going to be a big setback from Saquon. I think we'll see.
I don't think it's going to be something major, but I do think.
I think we'll still get pretty close to Saquon, bro, if he's healthy. Sure. It's Saquon.
Sure. All right.
But I'm going with the Eagles. In respect to Jaden and the Commanders, Jaden's my guy, and we know what they did in his rookie season, how they completely changed the culture. They're down with Dan Quinn and Adam Peters, your guy, Adam Peters. Yeah, your guy. But I'm going with the Eagles. Sorry, Commander fans.
Well, Eagles. So there's the division winners, y'all. 50-50, or if I'll put it on screen for y'all, if y'all see, that's on me.
We pretty much agreed on everything except for two divisions. We didn't agree on the NFC East, and we didn't agree
on the NFC West.
There we go.
Yeah, of course we didn't. Of course.
I thought we were going to pick the Rams. But moving on, let's get to the goodness, bro.
Let's go, brother. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Terry McLaurin and Micah Parsons, man. We gotta talk about this.
Have a little discussion about this.
Because these contract situations are weird because it doesn't look like an ending is coming or a solution's coming anytime soon.
For either of them, right?
But Jay, what's your opinion on this McLaurin thing, man, and Parsons? How do you feel about it?
Honestly, for McLaurin, I understand both sides, right? I mean, you got McLaurin who's been through how many quarterbacks, right? And put up consistent numbers, have been their guy. And from what I could tell, has never really complained like that, right?
Yeah.
So in his right to earn his money, and if they lowball him, I completely understand the feeling of disrespect that McLaurin gets. I completely get it.
Yeah.
But you have to look on the other side of it, as the Commanders, right? You have Jaden Daniels, a guy who can make somewhat of a nobody to a decent wide receiver into somebody, right? Into a name, right?
Yeah.
And you got to look at Terry McLaurin's age. He's 30 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
And on that 30-year-old trend, you kind of just slow down. Your routes aren't hitting as hard. You're not as quick. You don't have the fast twitch, right?
You're more scared to pay a wide receiver in his 30s to get a 4 or 5 year commitment.
Absolutely. And I'd understand if Washington kind of – honestly, I feel like these two are going to meet in the middle here.
Really?
Possibly.
They're going to get a deal done?
Possibly. But it may be less years, more money.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And on the Mike Parsons situation, I just feel like it's complete disrespect from the Cowboys front office and how they run.
What a surprise.
They're not a surprise at all. I'm pretty sure that documentary on Netflix that comes out about him is going to tell a lot of the kind of dirty history they used to play. Maybe I'm not We weren't around that time. I'll educate myself happily though. But Michael Parsons, he is a household name. He is a known commodity. He is one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You let this guy go to any other team. What you get in return isn't gonna compare in any facet. So you need to keep him here. And I think Jerry Jones is pulling the full disrespect card, pulling the full arrogant card, and just not giving this guy his money, which he's earned, by the way. 100%. He's kept that defense upright.
Yeah. So I want to touch a little bit on the Terry McLaurin thing. And, we talked a little bit earlier about, Brandon Ayuk, right, and him potentially coming back.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to bring Brandon Ayuk into this conversation.
You know what's funny? I know exactly what you're going to do because it makes the most sense. It makes the most sense.
Because you know where I'm going with this.
It really does. And I'm kind of selfish with this one because I know his exact take and I've seen this exact take. So go ahead. I've actually pictured this in my mind.
So look, Terry McLaurin has been in the league for 6 years. Brandon Ayuk has been in the league for 5 years.
Yep.
In 5 out of those 6 years Terry McLaurin has played, he's gone over 1,000 yards.
Ayuk has not.
And not just that.
Yeah.
I can't name you the quarterbacks outside of
Sam Howell,
Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell that he's had quarterbacks throw him and he still delivered 1,000 yards. And you look at Brandon Ayuk.
McClaurin becoming another Evans, huh?
DeAndre Hopkins. Those remember those using Houston with DeAndre Hopkins was going over 1,000 with those quarterbacks. But going back to what I'm saying is Ayuk's been in the league for 5 years, and at 2 of those 5 years he's having 1,000 yards. Well, this year it's hard to really take it seriously because he was injured. He's out for pretty much majority of the season.
Yeah.
But I think I think Terry McLaurin and his camp and his agency, they're looking at Brandon Ayuk's contract and they're like, that needs to be the base.
Right.
Because if Brandon Ayuk is going to get north of $30 million for 2 really good seasons, and they were 2 really good seasons, and Brandon rightly, I think you disagree with him. I think he deserved to got paid. Whether we agree on the money, he deserved to get.
I think it was a little too expensive. That's all.
Okay, but I think they're looking at it like, hey, I've been catching passes from quarterbacks that are backups, and I've been consistent. I've been there pretty much. I haven't been injured much. I've gone over 1,000 yards. I've done what I needed to do.
Played on the rookie deal.
And you saw now that when I have a legit quarterback who's done with the football, this is the results we can get together.
Right.
So I think McLaurin is looking at the Ayuk contract and looking like, if he's getting that, I got to get similar to that or even more. And he's looking at what I've done previously with not great quarterbacks. So I think the Commanders are at a standstill where, like you said, I don't think they want to pay, or I think they will give McLaurin close to $30 million, but they don't want to give him that long-term commitment because, like you said, he is 30 and a 4 or 5 year deal, paying a wide receiver into his 34, 35, his mid-30s.
They're talking wash.
That's a problem. So I think 2 things are going to happen here. I think you see probably a 2, maybe 3 year deal at the most, where you're looking at, I think, between $20 to $32 million, where he can get slightly above what Brandon Ayuk get.
Absolutely.
Or if he gets traded to a new team and a team is willing to give him that long-term commitment because they just want, that talent of a wide receiver. So at the end of the day, we'll see how it plays out. But I just think going back to Brandon Ayuk, man, I think that's the problem. That's the contract where you're like, yeah, if that didn't happen, I think the Terry McLaurin thing, that whole situation would have played out wrong. Oh, what do you say, sir?
We got a Saints fan down here.
We got a Saints fan who just, I don't know what you're doing, bro. Yeah, get out of here, bro. Yeah. But we'll see how that plays out. In my opinion, though, I think what does happen is I think the Commanders give him a 2-year deal, and I believe it's north of $60 million, where he's making maybe a margin more than what Ayuk made.
I could see that. And what do you think happens with the Micah situation?
Oh, yeah.
I honestly
100%.
think the way Jerry Jones' standpoint on this, what he's saying in interviews tells me he doesn't mind trading Micah.
Yeah.
But I can see both sides, right? I can see them working it out. Eventually, Jerry Jones, probably getting all the criticism from whoever's around him or whoever's telling him, right? And finally just down and works it out. Or he can go full operation and just blow it up and trade him for whatever asset you can get for it.
I think if you trade Micah Parsons, I think you signal to that entire organization that you're not serious about competing. And then you're potentially looking at guys like Dak Prescott, even CeeDee Lamb, even asking out in a year or 2 times.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So,
but look how they run their organization, though.
Well, they do pay. One thing I'll say about Jerry Jones and Cowboys, they do pay their best players. They will do that. Like as far as when it comes to drafting their own, they'll pay them. When it comes to trades or free agency, and those guys are nearing the end of that contract, then there's that issue.
Right.
But for me, is from Micah Parsons, similar to Terry McLaurin, he's like, I've been one of the main consistents on a team that, yes, the Cowboys have won a lot of games previous to this year, but I've been a consistent on this team. I've been a defensive player of the year candidate, one of the best defensive players in football
every time. Yep.
But I'm still my rookie year. I'm on my 5th year option. You know what I mean? And I think TJ Watt, him making now $41 million a year on his new contract. I think Micah Parsons
saw that.
He wants more than that. We know that's how it goes in sports. Guys want to one up. They want to see who gets the first contract so then they can get more. That's why I think you see a lot of the best players. We saw with Myles Garrett, waiting on his contract. We're going to talk about Trey Anderson in a moment, him sitting out because he wants to potentially make more than these pass rushers. So for me, again, I think Micah ends up staying in Dallas. I think there is that long-term commitment, but for me, just to drag this on, it's just ridiculous. It's just nonsense, but it's typical Cowboy stuff. And then some of the comments by Jerry Jones, dude, it's just kind of funny, man. When Micah requested the trade and he posted it on social media, and I'm quoting this, he said, "Don't lose any sleep over this." When Micah said, he wanted out of Dallas, which he could be right. They could have a deal in place real soon here,
right?
But to kind of make a joke out of it when this has been going on for such a long time, and you clearly see Micah frustrated.
Very frustrated.
I think it's Jerry Jones kind of being tone deaf about the situation and not taking it with the seriousness that he should.
Right. Urgency as well.
Yeah, and then also him saying that there's a handshake agreement, but the agent coming out and saying that there was never a handshake agreement. It's just, for me, Jerry Jones just being a character and just an absolute goof that
always wanting the spotlight.
Been the spotlight, but look, now we see this new era of generation of football players that you can try to be funny and play with them and think it's all sweet. These young guys, when it comes to their agents, their branding, and just their image, they don't play around with that stuff now like they did back in the day.
Absolutely.
So I think Jerry Jones has to be careful real soon here how he continues to speak out and operate during this situation.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I still think, because I'll be shocked if Dallas moves him.
Absolutely.
That kind of player, even though we saw the Raiders move on from Khalil Mack years ago. Don't bring that up again, please.
Yeah, no.
One of the worst days of my life. But I think Micah stays in Dallas. I think there's a 4 or 5 year deal there, and you're looking over $200 million. But Jerry Jones, stop playing with this man, bro. If you lose Micah Parsons, I'm telling you, the grass is not always green on the other side.
It's not. And yeah, man, we're gonna move on here.
But
all right.
Well, moving on to the next topic, we got to talk about Caleb Williams, man. We got to talk about the guy that I'm still a huge fan of, was a huge fan in college of. Obviously, his name is Caleb. Y'all know who mine.
Twinner.
You know mine. I don't know if we're twins now. He's more light skinned than me.
I think so.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all right.
But it's not looking good right now for Mr. Caleb Williams. And Jay, I want you to speak on it because
absolutely,
I can tell you're passionate about this one.
Well, no, I mean, I just do my research and I see and I see what Caleb Williams is around, and what I can see is maybe a guy who isn't ready for the starting job yet.
Wow.
I
The mighty have fallen.
I don't know. It's just here's the thing. You got Ben Johnson as the head coach now.
Yeah.
You got damn near OC. Practically an OC in that head coaching position. And then you got a running game. And then you got your wide receivers, Odunze, Luther Bird, and who am I forgetting?
DJ
Moore, thank you.
He has a bounce back year, though. I think DJ balls out this year.
We'll see. And
DeAndre
two very good tight ends and 3 pieces. Yeah, I said 2.
Colson Loveland and Cole.
Yeah, exactly. And you added 3 new pieces to that old line who weren't scrubs, mind you, not scrubs.
Yeah.
And I guess Caleb Williams is having trouble at training camp. And I guess what's being said is can't really hit the targets. There's that video came out. He got really frustrated. He couldn't hit any type of target on the little catch net. And I guess he's really trying to play hero ball, what he did in college. And it's not frowned upon. It is frowned upon when you need to run an offense and you need to run the plays. That's what, when you're supposed to hit your guys on one read and get it to spots where you're supposed to, and try and read the defense and what it's giving you. And I feel like Caleb is just holding the ball too long and just scrambling out the pocket, just trying to find an open guy when he can, and that inclines to taking too many sacks.
Yeah.
So it's really his opportunity for him to step up this year. I'm not sure if he's gonna do it. I don't know. He has everything. He has everything. Can't give him an excuse.
Yeah, man. This is hurting the soul, man, because this is a guy that I touted as the next guy, generational prospect, and he still can be that guy. But
it's tough. The money to follow.
I think what you've seen so far is that I think from other teammates, you saw it with DJ Moore, specifically with him last season. I think there is, again, some questions with his leadership. I think there's questions with his personality as far as how his teammates.
I didn't touch on that. That's very true.
With him respecting him. Again, I could be completely wrong, but I think there is some question marks there as far as the belief that the other teammates have in him. But you're right. I mean, Caleb has everything to succeed. They've revamped the offensive line for him. They brought him an offensive mind, and probably the premier offensive mind in football, beside Shanahan and McVay and LaFleur. Like, you know, they have the receivers. You got DJ Moore. You've got Adunze. I mean, I think Swift as well. I think with the improved offensive line, I think we'll see a better DeAndre Swift as well. The defense has really improved. It's there for him to succeed. And I just think the thing with Caleb Williams is that you saw in college, the one question I did have with him, because I think physically there's no question.
There's no problem.
He can run. He can roll to his right. He can throw from his right, his left. He can throw different arm angles.
He has a very strong arm strength.
The arm talent is there. Like, he has all the physical capabilities, but I just think from the mental side of the game is, for me, I think you're clearly seeing as a guy that his footwork in the pocket, he gets happy feet too much for me, and I think his instinct is to just run out of the pocket and play backyard football. And he's a guy that I think similar. He still plays the way like he did in college, where he's holding the ball on for way too long. Yes, the offensive line was garbage this past season,
and it's significantly better now. But that does not give you the absolute right to just sit there.
But what I'm saying is that I understand if your offense is bad, where you do hold on the ball a little bit too long. But there were times where he did take sacks because he was just trying to create something that wasn't there. And sometimes as a quarterback, you have to throw the ball away and just, hey, next down.
That's what it is. You can't take the sack and lose yards like that.
Yeah. I think Caleb Williams did a lot of that in his rookie year. So, look, it hasn't looked so far great in camp and what we've seen and a lot of these drills and whatnot. I'm optimistic, though, that with the offensive mind and Ben Johnson and with the talent that he has around him, that he can still succeed. But as of right now, the confidence is waning, and it's sad to see because the talent, man, he has it, but it's just I think it's the stuff upstairs for me that he still has to improve on. He has to get better.
Absolutely. And we're gonna move on to this last topic.
Last one.
Wrap it up the first in person for y'all. Man.
It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy. We're here. And time just fly. But we're gonna start with we're gonna do offense and defensive rookie of the years real quick. Caleb, give me your offensive guy. And
you know,
obvious fucking pick.
This is probably the most obvious thing in the history of podcasting.
You don't gotta go too in depth with him.
I'm not gonna go too in depth with him. But my pick for offensive rookie of the year is none other.
Man, y'all know what it is. You gotta clear stuff.
Than the man himself, Ashton Jeanty.
The Silver Surfer. Yes, sir.
yes, Ashton Jeanty. It's obvious. I think the opportunity that he has in this offense. We know Pete Carroll loves to run the football. They're going to get him out a lot more in open spaces, even between the tackles. People are making a big deal that he had -1 yards and 3 carries in the preseason. Come on, bro.
Relax.
Let's chill.
One game. Jesus. And that O-line looked terrible.
100%. I just think the opportunity he's going to have with the Raiders is immense, and I think clearly he's going to have the best chance to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and that's why he's my pick.
I understand.
Who's your offensive guy, man?
Honestly, my offensive guy, man, I think this guy is going to get a lot of touches. He's going to put up a lot of yards, and I think he's going to be the number one guy for a young Bryce Young. And I'm going to
T-Mac.
Shout out T-Mac.
Yeah.
Looked amazing in the little time they gave him in the preseason debut.
Mhm.
I like the way he catches the balls, man. His catch point, very good. Body control is amazing. And also, like, he's a very tall guy, so he doesn't have to get too much separation.
Him and Leggett?
You would like, obviously. You got Leggett there, and to give him more opportunities, right?
We raccoon.
So, and I do think that Bryce is just getting better and improving what he's shown in the preseason game. I thought Bryce was got on track from what he did last year.
Yeah, and
I'm very high on McMillan, so I think him and Ashton. Yeah.
Chuba Herbert too. Shout out to Chuba.
Yeah.
But you're right. One thing I wanted to add real quick before I'm really excited for Bryce Young. He really played well when he got benched early in the season, and he's an example of where I think a lot of young quarterbacks and just a lot of young players should look to.
Yeah.
When you get benched and something happens, to not take the approach like, why me? Oh, it's over. He took the approach, okay, I'm not playing well. I need to sit back. I need to see the game.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see what I'm not doing right and get better at. And clearly, him getting benched early in the season, and Dave Canales made the right call.
Yep.
It taught him a lesson, and it made him better. Clearly.
Yep. Clearly, it did. And he came back right in, just completely different player.
So hopefully he continues on that. But
absolutely.
Moving on the defense side of the ball for me, not just because the highlight tape he had against Deion Dawkins, but for me, Abdul Carter's my pick. He's my second pick, honestly. He's an absolute monster. He's a beast. He gives me shades of Micah Parsons. I know you talked about Myles Garrett, but I think this guy is a stud. And playing next to Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns, I think he's going to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities. And I just think he's going to feast off the opposing tackles because the focus is not going to be entirely on him. And he's super, super gifted.
Absolutely.
As a pass rusher. So that's my guy.
Absolutely. Honestly, man, a little shaky for me. Because, what we got here now? What we got there now? Oh, what are we doing?
Ad crazy. And of course, at the end of the podcast,
why they trying to get the ads on us, man? We're not sponsored just yet. Okay. But my defensive rookie there is honestly going to be between Michael Williams or Jahad Campbell, which is
Campbell, which is bro. I mess with you, bro.
Which is one of
I mess with you, bro.
Which is one of the picks I wanted the Niners to go after because he is pro ready. He is a guy who's going to be ready to play day one. And
of course, he went to the Eagles.
Yes, and he's playing. Hi, Rosamond. How you doing? And he's playing right by Zach Bond, who has proved himself to be one of the top linebackers in the game right now. Yeah. And I think Jahad is going to be playing right out the gate. He's going to hit it hard. He's going to hit it fast out the gate, and I think he's going to show a lot of production tonight. And I think he's going to be a very underrated rookie. Overlooked, I think he'll be.
He's one of those sideline to sideline guys, and when he sees something, he smells something, he goes and he attacks it. Bro.
Imagine if he was by Warner.
Yeah, he's a monster, man. And pretty much every guy for the last 3 or 4 years, maybe a little bit longer, that Howie Roseman has drafted has panned out.
Straight stud.
Yeah, I like the Jahad Campbell one. Then that's a sneaky hot take, but low key that could happen. We'll see.
I just think about production, and I think opportunity as well. I think Eagles are very high on Jahad Campbell. I think he fell in the draft. In my opinion, he fell.
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't think he was supposed to go too low like that.
He's a monster.
And I thought if the Niners were to attend to that linebacking core, which they needed to, and they later did with McClaurin, Jahad Campbell would have been perfect with that defense.
100%.
Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up for episode 45 for y'all, man. We hope you guys enjoyed the first in person. There's a lot more to come.
Yeah.
Maybe a few sprinkles of online every
now and then. But this was a must. This was a must. It's time. We got to level up. You know what I'm saying?
We have to, and we're gonna get you guys. This is gonna be filmed on Wednesday. We're gonna get this out to you guys as soon as possible. So just beware of the timing and what we talk about.
Yeah.
But, it's been me and your boy Caleb, man. We out of this one, man.
Peace. Do it, y'all.